this all the time years ago, like pre-pandemic, really. And inflation has just kind of killed that. So when I saw that they had it back, I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Even though I don't too much care for zero, but I'll take it. I was in Kroger's today, and I say this makes sales pretty legit. Like that's when I was even there. And they had Cheez-Its and club crackers, but it was buy two get two. And I had walked into like the chip aisle, which at my store it's in the same aisle as the chips, so it was like the chips are on this side, then the crackers are over here. Or yeah, and at least like the like Triscuits and Wheat Thins, that kind of thing. I don't know if the saltines are in the same aisle or not, but anyways, I was sitting there looking at it and I was like, that's a lot of Cheez-Its, 2 for 2, you know what I mean? Like, sure you get 2, but then you have 2 more. That's a lot of Cheez-Its. But then it also included like the Cheez-Its grooves, which I do like those. I've only had like, well, no, I've had 2 different flavors. I've had that zesty one. Anyways, but I thought, I can mix it up. And as I was sitting there thinking that, this lady, older lady, she comes walking down the aisle, just looking totally, just like exacerbated. Just, I don't know, just how to explain the look on her face, but it was sort of like, calm acceptance of defeat. I don't know how else to describe her look. But she was just kind of like, and she had no basket, no cart, nothing. And she just stopped and she was looking over at like the chips, which were also on sale. They had some crazy deal on chips where it was like buy 4 for 10, and it was Lay's, but it also included like the dips. Not a bad deal at all if you're like a rich person, which I am. But she was like looking at the prices, and she was like, "Why is food so expensive?" I was like, "I'd like to know." That's all I could say. And we just kind of laughed, and I don't think she even grabbed anything. She just went on about her way. I wonder what her story is. But yeah, so I got 5 of these. Wait, did I buy more than I was supposed to? No, I got 5 of the dark blue because dark blue Gatorade is my favorite. And I bought 3 of the red one. That's my second favorite. And then I bought 2 of that like white one. I forget what glacier or whatever that's called, what flavor that is. I just switched it up. I probably should have just stuck with red because I'm probably gonna regret it. But especially since they're already 0, so they already they don't have a whole lot of flavor to them in comparison to the original. And I just think that white one's probably a lot more watered down. Anyways, just like to see. These are my claws. Anyways, in other news, my great aunt is in the hospital. She's 89, and so I actually went to visit her today, and there was a bunch of family there. For some reason, I didn't add that into the equation when I was deciding to go. I didn't think, that room's gonna be packed with people who I haven't seen in a very long time, because I haven't even seen her in a long time. But she's still near and dear. But I'm definitely, like, the family has seen the least of me guess she was in pain one day, and she has like, her house is kind of rigged with like all the like lift stuff, so like it'll lift her up into the stairs and stuff like that. Well, I guess but she can also walk on her own, and she couldn't figure out why she was having trouble walking with one leg. Like when her leg's she had to drag it, she couldn't really move it, and I guess it started bothering to the point where my great uncle, is that it? I don't know. Some other relative took her to the hospital, and come to find out that she had a broken hip. Not only that, but she had a broken hip, and she had a broken leg. So none of us can get to the bottom of how that is even a thing, but so when they discovered this, they went and did like surgery to fix her hip, so she got a hip replacement surgery. But while they were in there, they found out that she had cancer in her hip, and that it had, I guess, metastasized, or whatever you call it, where it kind of spreads. And I don't remember like the trajectory or where, but I think it's went upwards. But she wasn't there for that. She was there for the pain of having an obvious broken hip and leg. But then we found out she has cancer, and it spread, but we don't really understand the extent of that yet. But that's, it's been kind of tough. So, like I said, I went to see her. So I haven't seen in a long time, and it was nice. It was still kind of awkward. I hate people ask me things. Like, don't ask me like what I've been doing. Don't do that. Don't ask me how I've been. Don't do that either. In fact, don't talk to me. No, I'm just kidding. But let's not do the small talk. But it was nice, and it was nice seeing her, and she's doing pretty well, all things considered. However, the cancer is not good. And so my grandma's will be 91 here soon. And she doesn't really leave the house anymore. So she can't really go visit her. And she's also dealing with a bit of dementia. And she's been pretty emotional these last couple of years anyways. Ever since losing my aunt. So when she found out that my great aunt was in the hospital, she would kind of call and be like, did she die? And it's like, no, she's just in the hospital. We didn't know the extent of things at that time. But even now, it's just interesting. My grandmother, she got diagnosed with breast cancer when I was a kid. So I was a little kid. I remember I was in 6th grade when the news came out. It was a very devastating diagnosis to the family. Because around that same time, anyway, we'll go into that one, but so she ends up going into treatment. She has the vasectomy, and wait, not vasectomy. What's it called? I said vasectomy. I can't believe I said that. What is it called? But it's something close to that. It's ectomy of some kind. Well, she had her breast removed, and she had her chemo and all that radiation and stuff done, and she beat it. And the chain of events that caused to me to this day is still so bizarre, because she went from being fully independent to almost infantile. It's I mean, some of it is the family's fault, but because they didn't know how to say no. They did not know how to follow, like, the instructions and to set boundaries. That's the issues. They didn't set any boundaries, and so, but it changed everything. But then she was having problems with, like, swelling and stuff like that, and you go to get her to an appointment, and they're like, oh, we found cancer, and it's also in her hip region, and it's also, I believe, spread a bit. Now, she said that, which I didn't know at the time because I was a kid, but I guess she said once she beat radiation, and, like, when she went through all that first time, she said that she'd never do it again. So if it came back, that's it. She's not going to do any treatments for it. She's not going to go through all of the radiation and chemo. She's not going to do any of that. And so she stuck to her word. She's decided she's not going to do anything in terms of cancer treatment for this. And it bothers me so much. It irritates me so much. And I can't get through to, like, my mom or my uncles, because they're not going to challenge her. And be like, hey, this, but it's just interesting. It's an interesting time. And it's made me think about family and all kinds of different aspects of stuff, and it would be really easy to just kind of jump into one of my depression cocoons right now. It would be really easy to do that. There's a lot going on with my family right now, and it can be a lot, but luckily, this is a nice outlet for me. Doing ASMR helps keep me distracted. Really, being distracted is like being distracted is what helps me a lot, probably the most, because I'm definitely somebody who can just kind of marinate in my thoughts, and it's not a good thing. Therapy helps. Visiting my friends, as rare as I do that, helps. I'm supposed to go see them this week. I don't know. I've been saying that for a while. But I don't know. So, my mother was telling me today, she was like, yeah, and, Aunt Shirley was like, she was my favorite aunt. And I'm like, what do you mean your favorite aunt? She's the only one I've ever known of in terms of, like, my great aunts. She's the only one. She's like, oh no, there were 7. My grandmother's parents had 7 daughters and 3 boys. And I guess, wait, is that right? 7 daughters and 3 boys. And it's down to 2 and 1. So my grandmother and my great aunt and a great uncle, and everybody else is gone. And apparently all the women, every single one of the other aunts, died of cancer. So that's absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. It's clearly genetic on someone's side. I don't know how that works, but there's clearly some genetic factors going on in there. father's side had a high case of it, and the mother's side had a high case of it, right? And so you have both of those with a high case of it, then you're gonna have a, situation that has occurred. But then, they go on to have, their own kids with whoever, and that changes the DNA, right? The biology, the genetics, and so who knows who, my mother's father could have been, or my grandmother's. What the hell am I talking about? My mother's father, yeah, he could have had some kind of, genetic marker that makes it so that she doesn't have it, right? I don't know. I know very little about my grandfather. In fact, I know nothing about him. Saying very little is embellishing. But who knows? But yeah, so that's just kind of crazy, and I don't know. It's just looking back when I was younger and how much I took for granted within family and stuff like that. So, kind of some heavy stuff today, but I needed to get it off my chest anyway, so yeah, my mom's doing well though. Gets me cracking up all the time. Of course, she gets on my last damn nerve all the time too, but that's mom. Gotta love her. She's so silly. She's been through so much in her life too. My therapist. Oh, that's so funny. My therapist gave me this little worksheet last week, and it was about resilience, because she was talking about how I'm really resilient, and we only got to talk about it very briefly. It was at the very end of the session, and I was like, yeah, I think I get that from my mom. And she was talking about what makes someone resilient, and going through a hardship and getting through it and continuing on, and not being completely crushed by something and defeated and stuff like that. And what am I talking about? I should make a whole video doing just this, because I really like that, and have I just they don't stick good enough to these last two fingers. I don't feel like. Actually, that's not bad. That's not that bad anyway. Oh yeah, it's fine actually. What do you think? A whole video just this. If you made it this far, let me know. Should I do a whole video just this one day? Just tapping directly on the mic with my little, I don't know what these are. I think these are for threading or sewing or knitting or whatever. Something to protect your fingers from a needle, I believe. Except for these are my Caucasian thumbs. These are for aesthetic. Not really, though. They're for they light up. I lost the lights though. Oh, they're somewhere. Resilience though. How do we get on resilience? Oh, I don't know. I think I was just thinking of my mom. Then I remembered that I had a worksheet to do. I didn't do it. I forgot about it until just now. I was also supposed to watch the video. Well, I should probably do that after I do this video. Anyways, thank you for listening to me just ramble about things. Sometimes you need to ramble. But a really tough time it is right now. it's like devastated. Where did that happen? I don't even remember. There was a car bombing, okay? Then you have escalating wars, and you have just prices of everything just absolutely freaking insane. Then you had my neighbors getting what I'm pretty sure is evicted, only to be replaced with new neighbors in like literally a day's time. I mean, that's really not an issue, but it's my brother is working. All he does is work, and he's constantly having these weird chest pains. The doctors can never figure out what's causing the chest pains, and that bothers me. Then one day he called and he was like, "I'm going to the hospital. I'm having all this terrible pain." Turns out he had a stone, like whatever the one you gotta pee out. He had one of those. It was really funny. He was like, I have. What did he say? I'll forget it. But he is having pain down there, but it was radiating to the point where he couldn't detect where it was at. So he thought it was the family jewels, but it wasn't. And it's kind of like if you had like a tooth abscess or a really bad cavity, you'll be thinking it's like the upper tooth or the bottom tooth, and then they'll go in there and look to be like, oh no, is this tooth up here? And I was like, wait a minute, what? Like I was certain it was this tooth right here down. Not like, nope, it's this other one. Pain can radiate so intensely. I guess that's a lot to do with like nerves and stuff like that, but he's to chill out, but you know, he's got a gambling problem which runs in the family. But and he has like 15,000 children. He got 11 kids. So, you know, between his gambling and paying child support and he's just, you know, constantly working. Anyways, thank you for listening to me. I've gone on for too long now, but I hope you're sleeping. I hope you're relaxing. If you made it this far, leave me a... Let's see what's gonna be. Leave me the... dragon emoji with a thumbs up. Don't have to say anything else. Just like, hey, I made it this far. And I listened. But thank you for listening. This was like an extra therapy session for the week, because I swear one a week is not... Let me stop. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I kind of was supposed to do one thing and kind of went into another, but you know how my mind is. But thank you. And until I see you in the next video, please take care of yourself and check up on your family. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care about them, or show them, you know what I mean? Do something, you know, reach out to people you care about who you may have not heard of. If there's somebody, and there is somebody in your life who, if they were gone, you would be devastated, you would be hurt, you would be like, oh God, I should have reached out. Do it now. Even if things are perfectly fine with them, and doesn't matter, just say, hey, doesn't matter if you talked to them a day ago, just do it. Just check on them and say, hey, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Let them know how you're doing. And just appreciate the people in your life while you have them. Okay? And try to keep yourself busy from all this negativity in the world right now. It's so hard to navigate. It's so hard to navigate right now, I know. But try. Play some Apex Legends. I do that. That gets my mind off of it for a while until I start losing. To be fair, I lose all the time. In fact, I lose more often than not. When I say lose, I mean like die within the first 120 seconds of dropping. I'm not great at the game, but I love it. Me, Crypto, Watson, Caustic. Those are my mains. But I also really have started to like Catalyst. I really am liking her. And I mean, all the support characters, I pretty much like all of them. Support, control, like those are my strong points, but for some reason I'm really good with Crypto. Crypto's like my main. But when I can't tell you the story, I'll tell you the another time, but thank you for listening to all of my random crap. And like I said, take care of yourself. I do love you, and thank you for tuning in and liking my videos and